Imagine you're floating alone in space. No sound, no light, just endless darkness. Then, far away, you notice something impossible. It's completely black. No fire, no explosion, no glow. And yet, millions of stars around it are being ripped apart like pieces of paper. You try to turn your spacecraft around, but it's already too late. Because once a black hole grabs you, nothing, not even light, can escape. Black holes are the most terrifying objects ever discovered in the universe. But here's something most people don't know. There isn't just one type of black hole. Scientists believe there are several different kinds. Some are born when giant stars die. Some are so massive, they control entire galaxies. Some may have existed before the first stars were even born. And one type might be so tiny that it could fit inside an atom. Today, we're exploring every major type of black hole, from the smallest theories to the largest monsters ever discovered. And trust me, the final one will completely change the way you think about our universe. So, let's begin. Before we explore the different types, we first need to answer one simple question. What exactly is a black hole? Forget everything Hollywood has shown you. A black hole isn't some giant cosmic vacuum cleaner sucking in the entire universe. It only pulls objects that come too close. Just like Earth pulls the moon with gravity, a black hole simply has gravity so powerful that once you cross a certain boundary, there is no way back. That invisible boundary is called the event horizon. Think of it as the universe's ultimate point of no return. Cross it, and every possible path leads deeper inside. No escape, no second chance. Even light, the fastest thing in existence, traveling at nearly 300,000 kilometers every second, can't escape once it crosses this boundary. That's why black holes appear completely dark. We can't actually see them. Instead, we see what happens around them. Glowing gas, stars orbiting something invisible, massive jets of energy shooting across space. These are the clues that reveal where a black hole is hiding. But not all black holes are created the same way. Some formed billions of years after the universe began, while others may have formed less than 1 second after the Big Bang itself. And that brings us to the first, and perhaps the most mysterious, type of black hole ever imagined: the primordial black hole. What if some black holes are older than every star you've ever seen, older than the Milky Way, older than our sun, maybe older than almost everything in the universe? These are called primordial black holes. Unlike ordinary black holes, these weren't born from dying stars. Scientists believe they might have formed just fractions of a second after the Big Bang, when the universe was unimaginably hot, dense, and chaotic. Tiny fluctuations in matter could have become so incredibly dense that gravity crushed them into black holes almost instantly. Here's where it gets really strange. Some primordial black holes may have been no bigger than a grain of sand, yet could weigh as much as an entire mountain. Imagine holding something the size of a marble that contains the mass of Mount Everest. Thankfully, that's impossible. Its gravity would destroy everything around it long before you could even get close. But here's the biggest mystery. We've never actually found one. They remain purely theoretical. Yet some scientists think primordial black holes could even explain one of astronomy's greatest mysteries: dark matter. Dark matter makes up most of the matter in the universe. Yet no one has ever seen it. If countless tiny primordial black holes are scattered across space, they might account for at least part of that missing mass. It's an incredible idea. But until we detect one, it remains one of the universe's greatest unanswered questions. Now let's move to the type of black hole that we know actually exists. A giant star, millions of years old, has burned through almost all of its fuel. For millions of years, the outward pressure from nuclear fusion fought against gravity. But eventually, the fuel runs out. The star begins collapsing under its own unimaginable weight. In just seconds, its core crashes inward faster than anything we can truly imagine. Then, boom! A colossal supernova explosion lights up the galaxy. For a brief moment, that single dying star can outshine billions of other stars combined, but while the outer layers blast into space, the core keeps collapsing, smaller, denser, hotter, until gravity wins completely, and a stellar black hole is born. These are the most common black holes scientists have discovered. Most contain between 5 and 100 times the mass of our Sun. That might sound unbelievable. For decades, astronomers believed black holes came in only two sizes: small ones, born from dying stars, and gigantic ones, hidden at the centers of galaxies. But something didn't add up. It was like discovering puppies and blue whales, while finding absolutely no animals in between. Where were the middle-sized black holes? For years, they remained one of astronomy's biggest mysteries, until scientists finally started finding evidence of a missing class. These are called intermediate mass black holes. They are much larger than stellar black holes, but nowhere near as enormous as the monsters hiding inside galaxies. Most are estimated to contain hundreds to hundreds of thousands of times the mass of our Sun. But how do they form? Scientists still aren't completely sure. One theory suggests that many smaller black holes collide and merge over millions of years. Another proposes that massive star clusters collapse into a single object. Whatever the answer, these mysterious giants may actually be the missing link between ordinary black holes and the largest black holes in the universe. In 2020, astronomers detected gravitational waves from the merger of two black holes. The collision created an object weighing around 142 times the mass of the Sun. One of the strongest pieces of evidence yet for an intermediate mass black hole. Imagine two invisible monsters orbiting each other at incredible speeds, faster and faster, until they finally collide. The impact doesn't produce light. It doesn't produce fire. Instead, it literally shakes the fabric of space and time. A ripple, traveling across the universe for billions of years, until it finally reaches Earth. And unbelievably, our instruments can detect it. Just imagine that. The universe is so violent that space itself can vibrate. But even these giants are nothing compared to what's waiting at the heart of almost every galaxy, including our own. At the very center of the Milky Way, about 26,000 light-years from Earth, lurks an invisible monster known as Sagittarius, a star. It isn't a planet. It isn't a star. It's a supermassive black hole. Its mass is equivalent to around 4 million suns, packed into a region smaller than our solar system. Think about that for a second. Millions of stars, compressed into one invisible object. Stars race around it at unbelievable speeds, not because they want to, but because its gravity leaves them no choice. And we're not unique. Scientists now believe that almost every large galaxy in the universe has a supermassive black hole sitting quietly at its center. Some feed on enormous clouds of gas. Others remain relatively calm for millions of years. But when they wake up, they become some of the brightest objects in the entire universe. They can swallow stars, blast enormous jets of energy across hundreds of thousands of light years, and influence the evolution of entire galaxies. It's almost impossible to imagine that something completely invisible can control billions of stars. Yet somehow, it does. And just when you think nothing could possibly be larger than this, The universe proves us wrong, because beyond supermassive black holes, there exist monsters so enormous that even astronomers struggle to comprehend their size. Meet ultramassive black holes. Just when astronomers thought they had discovered the biggest black holes possible, the universe surprised them. Again, meet the true giants of the cosmos, ultramassive black holes. These aren't just millions of times heavier than our sun. They're billions of times heavier. Some contain over 40 billion solar masses. To put that into perspective, if our sun were the size of a single grain of sand, an ultramassive black hole would be larger than an entire mountain. One of the most famous examples is TON 618, located more than 10 billion light-years away. This cosmic monster has an estimated mass of around 66 billion suns. It's so massive that trying to picture it is almost impossible. If TON 618 replaced the sun at the center of our solar system, its event horizon would stretch far beyond the orbit of Neptune. Every planet, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune would already be inside the point of no return. It's difficult to even imagine a structure that enormous. Yet somehow, nature created it. And somewhere out there may be even bigger ones waiting to be discovered. But what if black holes could also exist at the opposite extreme? Not gigantic, but unbelievably tiny. Scientists call these micro black holes. Unlike stellar or supermassive black holes, we've never observed one. They're completely theoretical. Some physicists think they might have formed in the early universe. Others suggest they could briefly appear during extremely high-energy particle collisions. If they exist, they would be microscopic, possibly smaller than an atom. And according to one famous idea proposed by physicist Stephen Hawking, tiny black holes wouldn't last very long. Instead, they would slowly lose energy through a process known as Hawking radiation, eventually evaporating completely. Imagine something so powerful, yet so small, that it disappears almost as quickly as it forms. The universe never stops challenging our imagination. So, which black hole is the most dangerous? The answer might surprise you. A stellar black hole can destroy a star. A supermassive black hole can shape an entire galaxy. An ultramassive black hole can influence regions of space that are almost beyond comprehension. But in reality, distance is everything. Right now, there isn't a known black hole close enough to Earth to pose any immediate danger. In fact, the supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy has existed for billions of years, and our solar system continues to orbit safely, far away from it. So no, a black hole isn't secretly coming to swallow Earth tomorrow. But knowing they're out there, silent and visible, waiting in the darkness, is what makes them so fascinating. The more we study black holes, the more we realize they're not just cosmic monsters. They are laboratories of extreme physics. They test the limits of gravity, space, time, and perhaps the laws of reality itself. Every discovery answers one question and creates 10 more. Maybe one day, we'll finally understand what lies beyond the event horizon. Or maybe some mysteries are never meant to be solved. Until then, the universe will continue to remind us that the darkest places often hide the greatest secrets. If you enjoyed exploring the universe with us, don't forget to subscribe to ToonTheory, because there are still countless mysteries waiting to be uncovered. And remember, the more we discover about space, the more mysterious it becomes.